Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dustin Strong. This is Strong in Health, and this is the end of our Ask Me Anything hour. For the next 10 to 15 minutes, we're answering the questions that you've submitted over the course of the week. And if you do have any questions that have to do with anything with your health, this is the time to either type it into us right now and see if I can actually answer it live, or if you want to email it to us and I can give you an answer prepared so that many people can benefit from hearing what we have to say about that. Email us at info@strongonhealth.com. Okay, so we have a couple of interesting questions today. Our first question is, can uncontrolled diabetes cause a lack of sex drive and erectile dysfunction? And is there anything that you recommend to help with that? It's a really good question. Yes, when you have uncontrolled diabetes, there's so many things that are happening in your body. We have to think about what the result of that would be. And of course, when people get to really end stages of this, that's when they start to lose limbs because the capillaries are not being able to carry nutrients to where they need to go. So there is an element of the vasculature getting destroyed by this. And so the way to improve upon that, of course, is remove what's causing that. And of course, that is the excesses of too much sugar and the things that are depleting it. So the first thing I would think of in terms of that would be to strengthen it with whole food vitamin C's, and whole food being the biggest part of that. But more importantly, that when we're thinking about what's happening in the body, when it comes to the liver especially, what's happening when we have all of this sugar going in there and your liver has this workload that is excessive. Now your liver is also going to be responsible for helping with the clearances of estrogen. And when we're looking at things like lack of sex drive, we have to be thinking in terms of testosterone and whether or not it's being completely drowned out by the estrogen or whether or not you are actually able to produce testosterone. So there's a huge liver component to that as well. So there's multiple aspects to this. And of course, the answer is going to be try to remove all of the excess carbs and sugar in your diet so that it's taking the burden off of your liver and supporting your liver with those things that are going to help clear those components out. So cruciferous vegetables, your broccoli, your kale, your Brussels sprouts, your cauliflower, all of those are going to be things that are going to help with that. Now, honestly, the quickest thing that I've seen for individuals who were experiencing things like erectile dysfunction were actually herbs that help to clear that out even faster. Things like milk thistle and silymarin. Those are herbs that are going to be helpful for the liver for a lot of people. Now, I'm not prescribing those, but I'm saying those are the things that I have seen that have been very helpful. So again, liver support things. Things are going to help get rid of the excesses of the estrogen so that testosterone has a chance to get back in there. But you also have to be careful in making sure that the vasculature is strong. If you really look into it, I'm sure that there are going to be articles that are going to be talking about the damage that's being done to the blood flow. And that's going to be something you're going to have to repair. And that can only be repaired by removing the cause, the thing that's destroying it, the excesses of the sugars, and bringing in those whole food components that can actually help repair and heal the vasculature. So uncontrolled diabetes, I'm not sure what that means exactly because there's always some measure of whether you're increasing it or you're decreasing it. And all that is dependent mostly upon your level of exercise and what you're putting into your body to either contribute to it or take away from it. So eating whole foods that are not going to be high in carbohydrates, especially processed carbohydrates and sugars, is going to be the thing that you're going to want to focus on there. So my recommendation would be eat whole foods and remove the sugars and the processed refined carbs, and get a little more exercise too, because exercise is also going to help you with the testosterone production. So those are going to be two things. I know it all comes down to diet and exercise, but exercise is important, especially things that are going to be building muscle. So weight training, that's going to be important. What foods do we recommend to help with hepatic steatosis? Okay, so hepatic steatosis is basically fatty liver. So for those of you who don't speak for an otherwise healthy individual. So they're saying they're not obese and no other medical issues, not taking any meds. Now that's interesting. So oftentimes we will see people who are accumulating fat on the inside. It's called sarcopenic obesity, or fat on the inside. I don't know what the other one is, but you're not actually accumulating it outside, but you will accumulate it on the organs in the liver. And a lot of that, again, has to do very similar to what they call non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. But this one in particular, hepatic steatosis, could potentially be due to alcohol. So it could be fatty liver disease due to alcohol. So the answer being, what do we remove? We got to remove the alcohol. We have to keep the alcohol out of the equation for as long as possible. That is pouring fuel on a burning fire in there. So we have to get that out. And the other things that would have the same effect would be, again, sugars. refined sugars, even fruit juice. I did have an individual today who had got a juicer because they were thinking in terms of this celery juice diet and it was going to be good for them. And I said, yeah, I love that video. I'm going to have to post it below where he talks about, yeah, silly nature, they're so stupid and they put the juice inside the vegetable accidentally. So eat the vegetable, right? The vegetable itself is actually going to give you the fiber, which is more important. When you drink just a straight juice, that's sugar going down there. So all that sugar hitting that liver, creating a huge problem, and also creating the accumulation of the fat. So the insulin is going high. You have to get that insulin to come down because that insulin is the fat builder. And the insulin is going high because of all that sugar being pumped into the system. Now, to help kind of turn that around, again, you need the same vegetables we just discussed, those cruciferous vegetables. You need things like broccoli, kale. Well, Brussels sprouts, it's going to actually have twofold benefits to it because it's not only going to help you with the glutathione production and that sulfation pathway, it's helping clear things out of the liver, but there's a really important thing called a B-lipotrophic factor, something that helps change that fat and get rid of that fat. And these are little things called choline and inositol. And the choline is going to be found in that Brussels sprouts. You're also going to find choline in eggs, in the actual yolk of the eggs. You're going to find it in seafood. So making sure you're getting that incredibly important nutritional component to help change that fat and turn that fat into something else that your body can use, that's going to be important. It's actually a vitamin B, so those are going to be the best foods to get that, but you definitely have to have those cruciferous vegetables as well. So again, we're thinking Brussels sprouts, kale, broccoli, garlic, onions. Those are all going to be good sources of foods. Again, whole foods, not some other version of that. What are my thoughts on Active Restore product to help with non-alcoholic liver, cirrhosis, fibrosis, leaky gut, and scratchy dry throat? Okay, did we pull this one up? Active Restore. I'm going to have to take a look at that because I haven't actually looked at that product yet. It looks like it's probiotics and enzymes. Okay, anytime you are removing things from the body that are contributing to the problem, removing things that are undigested, removing things that are over-processed, then you are giving your body the opportunity to heal. And anytime you're adding in the things that your body needs to heal, you're going to be moving in the right direction. So when I'm looking at this Active Restore bromelain, it is something that can help you with digestion, so I could see there could be some benefit in that. And we're talking a lot about digestion these days, and a lot of times that people are having a hard time with that. So I can see where there would be some benefit for that. But affecting all of these things, maybe not necessarily directly, or would it be my first choice? No, but I could see how that could be a benefit. And then the fact that we have probiotics in there, of course, that's going to be the lower part of digestion, and that can help with a lot of things. It wouldn't be the first thing I would think of for a non-alcoholic liver or cirrhosis. That is definitely all the other things we just discussed. Leaky gut, I could see where there could be some benefit and helpful for that. And scratchy and dry throat. So scratchy and dry throat, gosh, this is a really complicated one. I wouldn't think of that for that. I would think of balancing the pH, and that is going to be really, really important going forward for the whole body. The pH is going to change from the stomach all the way down to the colon, and I'll get into that more next time because we're getting a little long on this. Finally, how good, bad are Body Armor Light Super Drinks? And thank you guys for printing it out for me so I can take a look at it. The quick glance at this, we have filtered water number 1, erythritol, which, okay, let's be careful about our overexposure to that, is a safe sugar, but now if it's in everything, we got to be careful. And the third actual ingredient is cane sugar. So for that reason, I would be very careful with this because you're dumping sugar in there. And if we look at how much sugar, we're getting 3 grams of sugar in 8 ounces. So that is a contributing decent amount of sugar with no fiber to help out with that. And if we're looking down a little bit further, it looks like a bunch of synthetic chemicals are being dumped in here to be called vitamins. So it wouldn't be something that I would seek out or that I would personally add to my life. I wouldn't invest or spend any money on that personally. Not to say that it's a terrible thing. There are definitely worse things, but it's not one for me. Okay, finally, saw the video about protein. I am 63 years old and saw salmon contains about 56 grams of protein. Is that too much for my body to digest? Wild caught salmon, thank you. Okay, so, well, it depends on the amount, obviously, of salmon to get to 56 grams, and I'm not sure what the portion size was that equated that, but 56 grams is quite a bit of protein to digest all at once, And that is going to be heavily dependent on your ability to digest in the first place. 63 years old, more than likely your stomach acid has been diminishing over time. So your ability to digest isn't going to be the same as somebody in their 20s. So 56 grams does sound to me like an awful lot to do at one time. My suggestion would be to eat it in much smaller pieces throughout the day. Try to keep to maybe 3 to 6 grams of protein at once, and really pay attention to how you're feeling. Are you getting acid reflux, burping, bloating, any type of digestive stress, any type of headache, anything that goes unusual after eating that? Pay attention to that, because that's information that your body's giving you about that. Now, my rule of thumb is more a rule of the palm, and this is about how much protein you should be able to digest at one time, given that you have perfect digestion in that scenario. So beyond that, you're putting a little more stress on your digestion. You're making it a little bit harder for it to do what it's supposed to do. So at 63, I would probably cut that down and do a little bit less. Yes, we have to get protein, and it's very important to have protein at all ages, but way more important is that you're actually digesting the protein and getting everything out of it. And if you don't have sufficient stomach acid, then that can be much more challenging, especially if you're putting a ton of protein in there. So you want to give your body the opportunity to be able to digest what it has. So my suggestion would be eat smaller portions throughout the day. Maybe break that salmon down into 3 different meals over the course of the day. Okay, I think that's all the questions, and we'll get back to that active restore so I can look at it a little bit more for next time. But thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. A little crazy one all over the place today. But I guess the takeaway is take care of your liver. Eat real foods. And like we always kind of talk about is be mindful of this excess sugar. Even in this healthy drink that we're being given, it's got extra sugar. So when that sugar starts going up, it's so much sugar, it's really hard for your body to keep up with all the work you're trying to give it to do. 25 grams is what the World Health Organization says is the limit of sugar for a person with a healthy BMI. So somebody who doesn't necessarily have a healthy BMI, it's going to be a lot less than that. And in fact, I would try to get it down to 0 if I had any indications that I had any type of fatty liver or steatosis or anything that has to do with accumulation of fat within my organs. Okay, thanks guys for watching. Tonight we have an incredible opportunity for everybody to learn about digestion, but next week, Thursday, is when it's going to be open for the public, and I hope that you all can make it, and we're going to make it a good event, and it should be a good time. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you on Thursday.